Hey guys, I'm going to be going over Canal pretty briefly. This is going to be a quick run through and I'll give a little bit of strategy input on it. So I'm starting in T-spawn right here and I'm just going to do a run through to A. So the fastest way to get to A, and as you can see this kind of looks like Venice, Italy, kind of resembles Inferno a bit. But if you want to get to A, you run from T-spawn over that bridge and go through short A. And this is the whole A bomb site. So you could plant right here, right here. It's kind of just has to be in this area right here, this little lifted part. And the CTs to defend A, coming from CT spawn. This is CT spawn, and they would run through, and you could post up two different people. You could have one on the site itself, looking short A, but there's an alternative way to get to A through this back market area, and someone would probably need to watch that too. So you could either post up a guy in the marketplace, you can't jump over here. You could post up a guy in the marketplace watching that. So I'll show you what it looks like as a T going through the long A, or through the marketplace. So you run through the same bridge, and you go through this back alley kind of area. There's this balcony here. Doesn't serve too much of a purpose, but now you can either go right to the bomb site right there, or you can go through the market. So there's several ways to hit A. There's also a middle area too that you can use, but the main areas are through the market, through the short A, and through this kind of like junction area where you go through the same alley, but instead of going through the market, you go right to the bomb site. So I'll show you how to get to B now. So starting from T-spawn, you go over the bridge yet again, and you end up at this series of bridges, this kind of watery area, and you go up this viney ladder, and the bomb site is actually right here. It's this bridge. And what you can do is as a CT or as a T is when you're defending this, you can play looking through this window right here. If anyone's just kind of going fast B, there's probably going to have to be some way to smoke off this area. Probably something where smoke would land maybe here. And that would cover a lot of what the counter-terrorists can see. They'd have to either hold the right side or they'd have to look under. They still have a lot of cover though, so I don't really think it's that hard as a CT if you're actually holding this to stop pretty much anyone from coming to this whole area. There's a lot of cover for terrorists, but still all of these peaks are pretty disadvantageous, so it's pretty difficult to get to B. There's this alternate route right here where you go through the same water area right here, and you jump over the bridge, and instead of going to the left, you can go through this tunnel area, and you go up this, and this is kind of the middle area of the map, I'd say. It's kind of like this, I don't even know how to describe this building. It seems like kind of like a church or cathedral, but it's also attached to some other kind of regular looking building, and there's this kind of inner area, and you can go through here and get to the bomb site also. So the middle area is probably one of the most interesting because it's really got a lot of awkward angles. So if you want to get to the middle area, instead of going through short A right here, you would go through this doorway, and now you're just kind of back at the middle area. You can go to be like this now, or you can go up this, which I just showed, and you'll end up right here at this window. These windows are these archways, and this gives you other options to get to A also. So if you want to, you can go through here and through this building and come out. And you can't actually go out A this way, but you can look over it. So maybe you do a post plant where you plant right here, and then you just play this window. This is kind of complicated though, because once you plant here, you'd have to run all the way around and through. So you have to have a lot of time to do that. And there's this little window also before you get to this other one. There's a lot of windows on this map, and there's a lot of archways, and there's a lot of narrow corridors. It's actually pretty confusing. It's kind of like I don't really know how viable this map is competitively, because it is honestly incredibly claustrophobic, and they usually tend to shy away from maps that are this claustrophobic. Like, I am getting stuck constantly. Like, there's a lot of little things here, like a lot of little bumps and stuff. If you're blind, you're just kind of stuck a lot of the time, probably. Like, there's nowhere to hide. I mean, you're not going to get blind very often because it's very hard to flash any of these things. Like, if I just throw a flash over here, I can dodge it, like, instantly. Like, there's no way to prevent that. And if someone's in this area and I want to throw a flashbang, they're going to see it, and there's always a wall to hide behind. There's very few times when you're running around this map where you're actually just totally exposed. I think one of the only places is this short B area, or whatever you would call this B water area. But I'll take you from the CT side now and show you some like maybe practical defenses for this map. So you could defend A by doing a quick boost right here, getting a guy over this little construction area and going to the market space. You'd probably have to jump across right here, make sure he doesn't get shot, and then you could post up on this marketplace. The thing is, when he's in this posting up on this marketplace, I'm pretty sure the terrorists can get pretty close already before he even is ready. So that is going to make that difficult. But yeah, there probably should be a guy market. He might have to play really defensively, just holding a tight angle like this. But really, this isn't even that hard for him, I'd say. The thing is that he has to watch up right there on the balcony and down at the same time if he holds something like this. So it's nicer to just swing out, I'd say. You can also hold from right here if you just wanted to run straight through A. But you'd also be really exposed to a terrorist peeking you from the short A area. So that's possible too. But you probably need two people to hold A. One to probably hold short A in general, and one to hold the market area. So going back to CT spawn, if you wanted to hold the middle area, you would go through the palace. I guess it's going to be called palace probably. And this is a pretty bad angle, but it watches really the only thing that you need to, which is this window area. This is the only way T's can get here. So if you want to look from down there, that's possible, but it's not really that good. You probably would want to move up or have some teammate help you. But you could also play in this window too and just op right there. Just watch this angle. There's probably some nutty way to smoke this, like you throw some crazy smoke like this or something, and then I don't know how the skyboxes work. Looks like you can't actually throw nades inside. So there might be some way to smoke this, though, that people will find out in the future. So that seems unlikely. But yeah, overall, you'd probably have a guy mid there, and then you'd have probably two playing B. One could play really far back with an op, and he just watches these couple angles. You could actually play from down here, too. There's a lot of cover on this map. So you can play from here, he can play from here. There's a crazy amount of angles, actually. And you probably have one guy going from CT through this area. This is kind of an irrelevant space. And then he could play on the bridge itself. You could look at everything over here. Or you could move to these hallways. You could watch if anyone's coming down from right here. This is another pretty good angle, if depending on the timings. Or you could actually go right over here on the floor. And you could just watch to make sure no one comes up the ladder or anything. You could play this dumpster. This is kind of an interesting one and done, potentially. But pushing out here is probably dead. So, yeah, that's final thoughts, though, really quick. I didn't want this to be too long. I don't think this map is competitively viable. I think there's just too many of these cubbies. There's not enough room for strategy with grenades. I think at B, there's a lot of ways to throw nades. And I'll show you another alternate way you can run around this map, is through the water itself. So, you could throw some nades, something like this, maybe smoke on top of the bridge or into the water or something, and push up with it, but really, there's not a lot of room for cool strategies, other than just kind of hitting bomb sites from multiple directions at a time. The map looks very confusing, especially from a sky view, but in reality, it's not that confusing. There's really one route to be through the waters, or through these kind of bridge areas, and you could also go through mid, technically too, through the palace area, but the only way terrorists can go through palace is through these two areas right here. I mean, it's really just one area, because you'll end up right here, and then you'll just pop out right here. But anyone holding this has a lot of angles to play from. You could play on the ground right here, looking up. You could play from behind this. You could play even up close right here. There's a lot for the terrorist staff to cover, and I don't think there's too many ways to even flash it, because if there's a skybox there, you want to throw a flash in to help your teammate, but that just bounces back. So I don't know how you were supposed to even get palace control when there's a skybox around this whole thing. I'll just check to make sure. Yeah, there's a skybox there. There's a skybox there. There's a skybox there. Yeah, you can't even throw nades into this area. So I don't know how you would get control of this. I think some of the more basic strategies would just be like this wall of smokes at B. You'd probably throw a smoke here. There's probably a way to throw a smoke around here. That seems pretty easy, actually. Probably some kind of like jump throw thing like that. Something along those lines. If someone got a lineup for it, yeah, you can totally throw over all of that. But yeah, it just seems a little too cramped. This would be kind of fun in like a retake server maybe, but that's about it, because there's a lot of cool angles you can hit things from and you can hide in. But yeah, that's pretty much my general thoughts on this. I think I even went a little too long on this, but yeah, maybe if this map is probably not getting added to the competitive scene, but just giving my thoughts on it. Peace out, guys.